Today we are, I don't even know whether you say celebrating, but we are shining a
Disgusting.
light on the fact that it's Suicide Prevention Month. And today I have a guest with me. His name is Malik Sherrod. He is an entrepreneur. He is a disabled mental health advocate, and he is a friend of mine from way, way back. I'm gonna go ahead and put my own self on Front Street before he decides to do it for me. We've known each other, I know at least, I'd say, guess what, maybe about 30 years.
Yes.
Does that sound
Yes.
about right?
Yes.
And so let me welcome to the show, Malik. Hey, Malik.
Hey, how are you? How are you? So nice seeing you, looking like you're still in college.
I
You
try.
know?
I
Yes,
try.
ma'am. You are.
So I have been seeing you all over social media, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere I go. Every time I turn, I see you and the fact that therapy is dope. You've got it on shirts, you've got it on face masks, you've got it everywhere. And I think that because you are an advocate, that that's dope all in itself.
Thank you.
What
Thank you.
brought you to this place though?
My own beat, my not surmise, but me not doing what I had to do. Um, my story is long, but we're not gonna hold people all day. I hope they're watching this driving or getting a piece of it. But what brought me to it is what helped me once I finally got help with some therapy where I would like to help someone else because it has helped me. I went through suicide. Um, I, I always say I'm upfront and I'm going to be upfront. I attempted to commit suicide and God wouldn't allow it. He would not allow it. My mother came down after my separation, during the separation, and I just allowed it to take over me. I didn't, you know, I didn't do anything to prevent it. I tried, but I didn't try hard enough. I can remember my mother's sister and brother-in-law coming down doing the Ayana, one of
Fix
those.
my life.
It's my life, and my mother, whatever. My mother went from New York to Virginia, then Virginia to Charlotte. I was living in Charlotte at the time,
Mm.
and they came down. 2 days later, I said, I'm good. I wasn't good. You know what I mean? My mother came down again. I just couldn't get it together. It was after a divorce, separation at the time, now divorce.
Mhm.
And I actually didn't want to go in the store with my mother. And I got out the car and just started walking away in Charlotte with no jacket on in the winter. Cut to the chase. To this day, I wish this young man who stepped to me to ask me, was I all right? I walked into a Waffle House or a Huddle House off of a frontage road.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in and I'll never forget because I was freezing. I was outside for like 4 hours, 5 hours. The young man said, I said young man because he was smooth. He was hugged up with somebody. And the first thing he said was, brother, you all right? I said, no. And I just started crying. He immediately jumped up and said, what can I do? And I'm crying and I'm shaking because I'm freezing. Call, how it go, call the ambulance. It turns into pomp and circumstance. Ambulance, police, fire, everything. They asked me questions and I just opened up and said what I wanted to do. They took me to the hospital, warmed me up, and had immediately after they diagnosed me and everything, warmed me up, they had someone come in and sit with me. They reached out to my mother. My mother came, and I was in the Charlotte hospital. Let me tell you how good God is. I was in the Charlotte hospital for about a week. Someone saw me from Orangeburg and called my family. My family called my mother, but they didn't know my mother was down, and said, we're going to Charlotte to check on Malik. I mean, I don't know what anyone else's faith is, but my faith is in my Lord Jesus Christ, and He kept me. Get to the point. I get in the hospital. I'm there being evaluated. At that time, this was maybe 2013. They weren't equipped for mental health. So, but they did try. They had a Zoom. They tried, but it kept dropping. And I wasn't ready for that then. But it kept dropping. They tried. They wheeled me to a room. A therapist came on. I started talking. It kept dropping. Dropped about 7 times. So, cut to the chase. I'm in the room. My health gets better. It was a beautiful room, such as where I'm at now, but we'll get back to that. And my mother brought me back to New York. She said, "You're not working, you're not answering your phone, you're not doing anything." And she brought me back to New York. I left a expensive brand new car. I left my truck, whatever fit in that Maxima or whatever my mother rented, went back to New York. But I'm here to say that I made it. I made it through that, and other people can make it through that. Again, I'm just open that this month when I saw with suicide prevention, I said, hey, I got to start making some posts. Like you said, a post grabbed you that said, speak to somebody who you can't stand. You have to check on people. No one, I can't say no one checked on me because I didn't tell them that we were getting separated.
Right.
I did reach out, but people I reached out to were far away. I had a close friend who called people in Charlotte trying to get me to, be able to hang out with them on Christmas, and he didn't know they were apart. So you never know. Excuse me. You never know what someone's going through. That's why I said check on that friend. I've been checking on friends. One of my partners, and he moved to Florida. He's like, yo, we talked for 40 minutes because he said once his youngest son get out, he got to get away from the Sanchez or whatever because it's just too out of control. But that's my story in a nutshell for our podcast, for your podcast. But what else? I help you. Go ahead. I'm sorry, you got to say something.
Well, I mean, so I'm having a hard time, and it's hard for me to it's because I want to cry.
Because we know each other.
Because
Yeah,
I know you exactly, and to hear that is tough.
yeah.
And but like you said, that all of us go through stuff, and like the video that I saw that made me reach out to you for this, it made me laugh because you were saying, reach out to your enemies and see how they're doing, and it was like, oh yeah, that's Malik.
That, me in a nutshell.
Right, but it gosh, it hurts to hear how you were hurting, and during that time period, you said that was what, 2009?
2014, 2013, 2013.
13. Okay, where did I get 9 from? Um, I know where 2009 came from. It was my own situation. But like I can't say that I ever considered suicide, but I was extremely depressed. Um my husband and I, we lost our firstborn at 4 months. And it's always tough to say without crying, but he would come home and I would be like in the closet in the baby's room crying and stuff like that. And so he knew there was a problem. But and nobody, I was never diagnosed, but I didn't need anybody to tell me what that was because that wasn't typical behavior. Most people don't go sit in closets and cry all day. But that was where I chose to go, what I chose to do. And although people knew we lost a child, they they didn't they didn't check on us after the funeral services. It was kind of like He's gone, and then everybody went back to their normal lives. And then, my husband's in the military and I wasn't working at the time. So I was at home all day, and there's this baby's room that we started putting together. And the 4 months that he was alive, he was in the hospital. He never got to come home with us.
Oh,
So, we had this room and a crib and all this stuff. And, I had lots of time, lots of free time with that stuff and my feelings. And it was really tough. And to the point where I confronted some people in my life where I was like, once I got better, I felt better. It was like, I really needed you. And granted, I don't know what you were going through, but y'all knew what I was going through. Mine was on Front Street. It was it was there. And and a lot of people basically didn't know what to say.
yes. That's what it is too. That's one of the things, but go ahead.
Well, no, so then I was going to ask you. So I know for me in my situation, people didn't know what to say, so they chose not to say anything.
That was my situation too. Um, the word got out there, but I was still amongst my people. What I mean by my people, my close inner circle. My inner circle, is Atlanta, some New York, but one of the things, I didn't give a complete, not background, but when you got emotional, I really had to grab this chair and not get emotional because I call myself Carl Thomas. His first record, Emotional, I can get very emotional. And what made you emotional, I think, was me. Now let's let our people know who I am. My name is Malik Sherrod. I transferred to South Carolina State in 1992, as bubbly as a what do you call those balls? The ball that bounces all over the place, the super
The
balls or
Super
whatever
Bowl.
we used to get from the vending
Yes,
machine.
that is definitely who you were.
Because I'm all over. You would never expect nothing like that from me. So that's why I had to paint a picture, let your listeners know I'm a high energy
Mhm.
extrovert,
Mhm.
extra extrovert. No one's a stranger. Best friend of mine said that best. No one is a stranger. Even here in New York, I speak to people as if they're in South Carolina, and they're like, "This man is crazy," but that's just me. But what I did was I told a few people. It was it was unique for them to understand, especially around, like, I moved back home. Remember now, I was that dude.
Mhm.
Club, the women, I'm gonna say it, the women, everyone knew me. I was Malik, and still am Malik the t-shirt man.
Yes.
If you knew me before 35, I was Malik the t-shirt man. Then I changed into Come to Malik's. That would be my commercial. Come to Malik's, come to Malik's. But that's another story. But you know, it was hard for my friends. My friends couldn't give me what a therapist gave me. Mo was going to be all right. One of my friends, he's a counselor, right, in high school. That was the one that was trying to, and a coach, trying to find me someone so I wouldn't be alone Christmas in Charlotte.
Mhm.
Um, but everything was not what I'm learning now. So for just listeners out there, you have an issue, don't tell. I'm not saying don't tell Aunt Sarah, but you could talk to Aunt Sarah. You could talk to Shamika. You could talk to Black Jay, but they're not qualified
Mhm.
for that type of help because they know you. You need a person who does not know you and who you can explain stuff to and they can unpack it. Like I did today between 2 and 2:45 with my therapist. Thank God my insurance still paid for it. So that's my thing. When I told people, they were shocked,
Mhm.
because a lot of them was like, move on. You know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't like that. A wife of almost 12 years, two beautiful children together and two stepchildren. So it wasn't easy just walking on like that. I tell people, I don't have it on me all the time, but I tell people it's as easy as looking at the back of your insurance card, call the number and say, I want to see a therapist. What kind of therapy? Physical therapy for therapist, mental health. Give them your zip code. They look up the places. You have a pen and paper. Depends on your insurance, they'll email it to you. Blue Cross will email it to you. You give them the zip code, they're like, I have 100, send it. So I tell anyone to go see a therapist. Again, your hairstylist can't help you, yo. She know you for the weave. She know you for the natural. She know you for the quick weave. That's what she knows. She knows the gossip around. She knows what she went through. But I still say a therapist is one that can unpack some stuff. And I'm using that word unpack because I learned something today about myself.
Definitely. I have to agree with you on that. Because the tough conversations that they have to have with you about you and your stuff is difficult, because a lot of times family and friends aren't going to say the tough stuff. They're going to amen you, if they're going to, you know,
Remember the past.
well, oh gosh.
Like remember you can do that, or you got through that. Something new, man. Excuse you, cutting you off. Excuse me.
Oh no, I mean, but definitely, especially with you, because I can remember looking at you and being amazed, like, who is this kid that came here to Orangeburg, and how did he just like take over campus? Like, you were everywhere doing everything. And I mean, and I wondered to myself, it was like, how is he like an entrepreneur and he's just getting here? Like, you came with the business. It wasn't like you were here and then the business came. It's like when you came, the business came, and it was just like, I don't understand. Like, it's something about people from New York because I don't get it.
And it's so crazy. I'm glad you said that. A lot of people thought in South Carolina that I did it here in New York. Only thing I sold, and I tell the story, I was the president of Future Homemakers of America. Only thing I sold was brownies and cookies. I never sold an incense in New York. I never sold the oil. I never sold, never. You remember
Uh-uh.
you remember FHA?
I'm not buying that. I'm
I'm
not
dead
buying
serious.
that. You're kidding.
I never sold anything in New York. Never. Except my senior year in high school when we raised $300 selling brownies and cookies on the first floor. And my man's was like, yo, you ready? I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold on to this. And I stayed, and my man's in there. I forgot where we was going, but my crew, my inner circle left me. And I had such a ball sending people upstairs. We need more brownies, we need more cookies. Here's the drop. Write down the thing, pull the change, they bring it up, they sign for it. I never sold anything in New York. Can you believe that? Listen, I didn't even know about wholesale in New York. Dre and I, one of my first partners, we would pull up on people in the street selling, and we bought Philly. Remember the Philly Blunt T-shirts?
Uh-huh.
We bought them for $5 in New York, and we're selling them for 10 and 15 in South Carolina. Only thing I had wholesale. No, my mother was the connect. My mother would go buy the stuff, and they was like, Esther, what are you doing? Oh, I'm shipping this Malik. He's he got a business. Yeah. So believe that or not. And I
So,
know it's hard to believe.
but with all of that though, then to say that you were here and then something changed
Yes.
and put you in that bad place, that's the mind-boggling part of it all, because I know a lot of people looked at you as like, this guy got everything. He can do
Yeah.
anything. And then now here you're in this place and people are kind of like you said, they tell you, just be done with it. Be good.
And let me tell you, that was hard. Like, I'm like, not a lot of people, but one or two people, they know who they are. They had said that, but I couldn't do it. One of the most unique things was too, when I moved back, I was embarrassed. I mean, I was embarrassed. You understand? I left clothes. I threw away high school articles with basketball. My mind wasn't there. But I got it back. God knows what He's doing. I got it back double. I mean, I just bought furniture for, I don't know what I had a 1 bedroom because I had to move out of our 3 bedroom. I even lost my confidence, and I was making the money to keep my 3 bedroom. in Ballantyne, in the highest zip code in Charlotte. But a friend from Orangeburg lived in an apartment complex right up the street. Said she'll speak to the landlord, got me in there. I got a 1-bedroom and a futon. I had a bunk bed for the kids in the room and a futon in the living room. That was one of the worst mistakes of my life. My body was killing me. I don't know what I was thinking. So the separation, I'm getting too much into it, but I want the audience to know, it was hard. Like we both lived in Charlotte, picking up the kids on the weekend, and I wanted them every weekend. Since you taking them with you, I want them every weekend. They're with you 5 days a week. Then the kids left. They went to her hometown, and I think that's when my decline came.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blaming anybody, but that's when my decline came.
Right.
But I really feel, but that's in the past now. If I seeked help a little bit earlier, I didn't feel like I needed it. I still felt we were attached. The conversation, I tried to have a conversation and it was like, all right, bye. Like we spoke about the kids. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I still remember this beautiful young lady in Shelby, North Carolina. I'll never forget. She, sometimes some people are a lot more reluctant to, let their guard down. And, I have a little talk game. And I remember I went I was doing the free cell phones. I'll never forget. This young lady, she was younger, but she was beautiful. And she threw all the hints, but I wouldn't do nothing. What I mean, not physically like jump on it, but like, come back or call or whatever. And I still had my band on, even though you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I saw her in Walmart in Charlotte. And I said, we got to talk. We got to talk. Because when you lose something, you're good for a little while, then it comes back. And, I listen to different pastors, how we're supposed to leave that past alone. You hear it all the time. You see it on social media, but it comes back like the boogeyman. But I thank God that we can move on, because I tell anybody in a minute, prayer. And again, this is me speaking. I don't know out there, we're listening to audio and in the video come up. Who you believe in? Buddha, you don't believe in, you believe in something, you believe in toast and butter. So you believe in something, but I know prayer, therapy got me to where I'm at, got me to being this person again, Malik Sherrod. Because without therapy, without praying therapy, I'll still be like this. I remember when I finally talked to the brothers at the barbershop. They said something not right with Mo. They kept saying something not right. They heard I was sick, with lupus and everything, but they was like something not right. I'll get my hair cut. Any other time I'm and blah blah blah. And, what's going on? Yo, son, look at you. And I lost that.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, even to the point, I'm not a physical person. I tell people this story. First job I got back was in AutoZone. I was what was it called? The commercial department. Basically, I took an order and delivered it. Well, I had a manager. He took the order. All right, and I'll go pull it, sign for it, leave the store. So remember, I'm a businessman. And he was making the deals by phone, but I was the one delivering them all over Brooklyn. So I would tell some of them, I would have to go to the hub to pick up their product. I'm just giving you an example. The hub was another 15 minutes down, and then I may have had to go all the way back across to give that person their part. And again, you don't know me from fighting or nothing, but I always remember how God carried me through this. Somewhere the other, I said to the manager, I told him I gotta go to the hub. Store full of people, jam-packed. Yo, stop telling them customers, mother so-and-so that, mother so-and-so, so-and-so. Do you know what God gave me to say? Excuse me 1 second. Oh God, I'm all over the place. I'm so amped. God gave me to say, I have to leave. I have I said I had to leave. And he's like, well, get out of here. I clocked out. I gave the truck keys. I went outside. I called the main manager. He was off that day. I said, Lucian, I said, Lucian talked to me as if he had no respect. And I said, before I put him against the batteries that was right there, then the wipers, and then the car fresheners, then we'd have came back up to the batteries. I went straight. I called after I hung up with the manager. I called my mental health office. I couldn't see mine because mine comes from another job that he does there in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
They allowed me to see somebody else. The first thing the therapist said was, "You did the right thing," because he said, "You're a big guy, and I can see you're kind of mad." But the point was, I had an outlet. That was in 2000, say 16,
Mm-hmm.
right? 2015, 2016. I saw this guy about 2 years ago. I'm hustling Mother's Day stuff. And I lied to you not. I looked at him like, boy, I'll just wring his doggone neck, but I got too much product out here. We talked like nothing happened, spent $40 with me. Look at God. Look what therapy did for me. So again, I tell anyone, try and find a therapist. And guess what? It's not easier, but since the pandemic, it's been money thrown all around. Listen, my old therapist I had for 2.5 years left my therapy office, went to another one. My insurance, he didn't cover. I mean, that therapy place didn't cover.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be on a sliding scale. It was almost $100 a visit. Do you know he has his own business now?
Oh.
Mental health is just so in demand. So I tell anybody, when you have those bad thoughts, there's somebody out there. You got 888 now and 988 free told. You know the number. Let me just make sure.
No.
Yeah. Universal. It's a number now. Oh my God. Wait. It's so many
Is it
numbers.
988?
There you go. What did it say?
988.
That's what it is. And it's universal. You see it?
Calls to suicide prevention hotline after the transition to the new 988 number.
That's it. I was close. 988. It's a universal number everywhere. Where you at, where I'm at. It was just introduced about a month ago.
Yep, here it goes. 988 is the new 3-digit number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It is now available nationwide. 988 is more than just an easy to remember number. It's a direct connection to caring support for anyone in mental health distress.
So let's pin that and let them know 988. I was so happy with that number. I mean, you don't even have to see anybody. You may have to do the intake paperwork, which you can mail back in. Now you can talk or text. So these younger people can just sit there with their thumbs and get busy. It's here. I'm not one of the younger ones anymore. Now I have when I have a fresh cut, I with the lingo. I don't know all the songs. Like when I go get some stuff that I sell, like say artwork that I put on a t-shirt, I'm like, yo, who was that? Travis Scott. Yo, who was that? So and so, so and so. I said, Dag, money nice. Let me come out the 90s. Let me leave L and Cool G Rap and KRS and Jay-Z. You know what I mean? It's let me tell you something. It's so much right now for these children and younger adults. Mm-hmm. I'm half a century. I made a promise that I wasn't going to live my life like I did before 50. Did I answer enough? Did I answer it? Did I touch on anything of importance?
You did. I mean, because especially 988 was not on the plans. So that coming out, that was news to me. I'm today years old hearing about 988. Now I do want to know though, because you said yourself, had you gotten help earlier, then things might have turned out different. But how do you know that you need help? I mean, because I like to think that a lot of people think that they're okay and think they can handle stuff and they think they can push through. They've been here, they've done that, they can do it again. So how do you know though when you need help?
I will say this, everyone's situation is different. My situation was I didn't want to be around anybody. They left a note on my door. I didn't come out the house. My mailbox was too full. They said I had to come to the post office to get the rest of my mail. You know what I did? I came to my door to get the Chinese food. chicken wings and French fries and a 2-liter Sprite. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They had my debit card on file. That's not good at a Chinese restaurant. So how I knew when I didn't want to be around anybody, or
Mhm.
I had a friend, I have a friend who's in the mental health field, and he taught me this. I didn't realize this. He would just keep checking on me, and his son went to the same Boy Scout troop in Charlotte as mine. Not gonna say his name. I came close. Now I'm gonna say it. My brother Monty from Jersey. Um, I I would talk to him
Mhm.
because I opened up when the kids was inside. We was outside. They didn't need the parents, and I told them. He said, "Leak, I'm here." You know. One of the things I remember was this: you'll have your good days, and you're gonna have your bad days. One day, I just ran out the house, went to this area where I did the phones. I did 60 phones. I signed up people to get a free phone with food stamps or Medicaid. That was like somewhat average, but over average. And I
Mhm.
always had high numbers like that. The next day, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out the bed. I couldn't get out the bed.
Wow.
So when he said that, that's what reminded me of you're gonna have your bad days, you're gonna have your good days. Because I thought I was on route to getting busy. I was like, I'm back. The people was happy to see me. Boom, 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 signing them up, signing them up. Then I got the cease to assist letter because where I was going was South Carolina. See, I was cheating.
Mm,
Because
mhm.
I know the South. Anything with SC, that's me. They heard of Malik. Malik the t-shirt man. Big black Malik with the gold too. Cute Malik, But I still put in work in North Carolina, but it was just easier for me because nobody was doing it there,
Mm.
So how again, go back, how did I know I didn't want to be around anybody? I turned into the complete introvert. Me, me, I didn't want to be around anybody, but people still knew something was going on. I can remember the barber I had in Charlotte. He called because she would bring my son there, and there was no conversation about me. He came to the house, cut my hair, and bought food. And the owner even asked, "Yo, where big man at with the beard, going through something?" He gave him some money for me. So, even though I felt down, people were still there.
Mhm.
But how, again, to answer the question, how did I know when I didn't want to be around anybody, when I didn't want to go out, when I stopped answering my phone completely, that's when I knew something was wrong.
Mhm.
I didn't see it. I moved on, tried suicide, didn't work, thank God. Moms came down, packed me in the car. We was back in Brooklyn. And I'll tell it too, I'm still in mama house.
Mhm.
I'm in mama house. I'm working on my own joint, but I'm in mama house. I'm gonna say it again. I'm in mama house. It's something wrong with it and nothing wrong with it. But I'm single. I don't bring no work in the house. I would, if I had some work, but I just want to be real with these people. You know, just be real. I'm single. I'm putting it out there. I'm 51. I sell therapies, dope t-shirts. Because my friend, again, there's nothing wrong, man. I just want to be transparent so people can understand where I'm coming from as a black man, where it happened to me, over 10 years ago,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, over 14 years ago now, 15, because I see anniversaries. I was like, yo, I got married. On Facebook, I'd be like, I got married before them. Oh, so it would have been 20 years for me too. And
Mhm.
that bothers me a little, but I'm all right. There's somebody out there that want Big Daddy. Somebody out there. They gonna see the
Somebody.
podcast. So,
Okay, so another question. So, what about when you look at other people, when you're interacting with friends and you realizing that they're changing?
it's good.
What's your thoughts on trying to get them to then seek therapy? Because I know, like, when my father passed, I went to therapy and I tried to convince everybody else to as well because I was like, some y'all just acting weird. Something ain't right, my mom was kind of like, "Oh, what they gonna do? They gonna try to make me cry? No, mama, they ain't gonna try to make you cry." My sister, my sister was like, "I'm gonna have to set an appointment for myself because I went there with mama," and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, guys, just go get help. Just go talk to somebody." Like, you may not need it at like a whole lot, but we just went through a good bit here, losing our dad. So just go talk to somebody so that you don't get to the place where you pushed everything down and then end up in a bad place. I'm
Yeah.
trying to do work on the front end and they're giving me pushback. So what's your take on when you see changes? How do you get somebody else to see that maybe they might need to go talk to somebody?
One of the blessings is they saw my transformation.
Mm.
They saw me become Mo again. See, I have so many different names: T-shirt man, Black Mo, Mo. So I have different, crews. And they saw it. They saw the transition of me becoming myself again. And listen, again, I think we talked about this before. I get inboxes all the time about finding. I want to cut commission from my place, but they're not giving me nothing. I got my place 3 people. Interborough. See, I'm plugging them again, but I might as well say it. Interborough Clinic, 9413 Flatlands Avenue in Brooklyn. Dial 0. When I give them the number, matter of fact, I'm gonna give them the number because my people go listen to this. 718 718 272 1600 and dial 0. And you'll get connected to an operator. You can get some intakes mailed to you. You could go, I think they're back open now. You could go and do intake and, see if they take your insurance and go from there. Let me tell you something. When I left out, right, when I first started going to therapy, I had one time, my one time was, I think, Wednesday at 6 or something. Then when I got a new job, when I was working at Spectrum, I had to go through 6 weeks of training. So I couldn't be at AutoZone, nor can I be in Brooklyn because I wasn't driving at that time. And when we got out, it was a 2-hour ride back to Brooklyn. So anyway, the long story short, um, we ended up changing to Sunday because I was off on the weekends because I was training at Spectrum. So we switched to 9:45 on Sunday. So I would come in, boom, 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 ready for church,
Mhm.
And one of the things, since I wasn't making money, they paid for transportation.
Okay.
So they would give me $5.50 when I left, and I would give it to one of the kids hollering and screaming with their parents in the lobby. So I built the rapport of hanging out with people in the lobby, waiting for my therapist.
Mhm.
So what I tell people, and my therapist, she commends me all the time about it, of being a Black man talking about therapy.
Yes.
We just not gonna do it. Listen, Berto's my barber. Berto has helped me. Berto found out I was here, he cussed me out. But there was nothing I could do about the platelets. Malik, why
Right.
you in the hospital? You stopped working out. Like, what's wrong? I said, yo, it's my platelets. They were too low. My hematologist said, come in. That's where I'm at, y'all. When you see the video, he
Yes, he did
showed
not
me
attempt
band-aids in my.
suicide. This is not a
It's not so. Yeah, let's clear that up. These are IVs for magnesium and other stuff. I did my what do you call it? Hematologist had me come in. Oh my gosh. I know you got another question. Give me
Yes.
something else.
My I guess final question is do you have any tips or takeaways to give to the listeners?
I'm gonna go 2 ways with it. Malik, will you ever get married again? Hell yeah. I got the syllabus. I took that test. We learn from our past.
Mhm.
Let this go. Let whatever your infinity, your nice house, you can have all that shit. Excuse my mouth, but if you don't have this, if you don't have peace, you're not gonna make it. So the same way you got to drop that infinity off to get service, you have to get service. Mm-hmm. As a man or a woman, you have to put it upon yourself to get some service. I'm working on saving $72 a month to get my hoofs done, my feet, my hoofs, and my nails, and a massage. It's $62 down the street from my doctor's office in Queens. And you know you got to tip little mama. You know she don't need about this tall working hard. Self-care helps out. Mm-hmm. So listen, something as simple, social media has hurt me and has helped me. Mm-hmm. Social media said when you start feeling angry, go take a walk. I grab my cane and I walk 2 blocks when my mother gets sick of me. Malik, that car's a mess. It's junky. You got that stuff. They're going to break in it like they stole the van. I tell my mother this. When you call State Farm and add your debit card to that car insurance, you could talk about that car. So what I'm saying to you listeners right now, get a tune-up, get a refresher. Everybody doesn't need therapy, but look what we just went through. Mm-hmm. We just went through a pandemic. We lost people. Yeah. I lost 2 close people who watched me grow up back to back because of COVID. Right now, we all need some sort of therapy. We're all going through something. I think the next show, I'm going to put my 2 cents in, unless you did it already, should be self-care. That's just me speaking. You say I'm looking like this, looking like that. A lot of people don't know what that is. But in the final word for me is, as a 51-year-old man from Brooklyn, New York, who considers Orangeburg, South Carolina his home, where I went to the baddest and the best university in the country. The country. I'm going to big up my HBCU because that place bought me out. Brooklyn didn't bring me out. That university bought me out. Find some help. Find some help. We're all going through something. Pick up that Bible, pick up that Quran, pick up whatever you pick up. Don't pick up no narcotics.
Right.
Unless you got a prescription. That's another story. I was told, boy, get the reefers. Leave that ibuprofen alone and get some reefer. I'm still not doing it because Curtis would kill me. He still got me shook. Young lady, I enjoyed this. I can keep going. Okay, you know you messed up when you start laughing, right? You know when you start laughing, I try and kick in more jokes.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I am so glad you're back.
Thank you.
Because I can't imagine Malik without Malik. I can't even imagine that.
And I hope I brought that to your audience. I hope if you're listening to this in traffic, can I give them my information?
Yes, please. That's going to be the next thing I ask. How can they get in contact with you? How can they get a Therapy is Dope shirt and mask? And I guess you got a bundle.
Sweatshirt coming, wristbands. How you can get it? My name is Malik Sherrod. Now remember, I'm out one of them young kids. Malik. You know, these parents spell it all kind of crazy ways. Maleek. And I'm like, how old are you? 30. I'm like, yeah. Malik.
The original.
Say it again.
The original.
The original, yeah, the right way. Malik Sherrod. Sherrod. That's my Facebook address. Instagram, just put the number 2. Same thing, Malik Sherrod, number 2. You'll see the pictures of the shirts. There'll be a PayPal link for you to use. You don't have PayPal? We take Cash App. I'll message you or text you the Cash App and Zelle. Use the code podcast, get $5 off. When you go to my page, I don't know how to get exotic. I get exotic right now. Hold on. I'm coming right now, E-double. Now you know my phone is going off because it was off. So this is me. You'll see me. I go to therapy. I got a fresh haircut. You see me, y'all? That's hold on. Malik Sherrod. That's my page. You're your only limit.
There we go.
And you just look at the t-shirts that are up there. or ask me to inbox you some pictures, I'll inbox them. We use quality t-shirts. It's not that $5 t-shirt at the football game I used to sell that was in a regular t-shirt, or anybody else, that shirt you can wear it that day and then you dry in your car with it or checking your oil with it. We use first quality shirts. We're ready. We're ready. Therapy is dope. You do not have to get it as therapy is dope. Try it. I did. You may not be ready for that. We can just give it to you as therapy is dope. You
So
know?
you can get it however you want. Like you don't have to get the shirt the way that it is. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad you said that. And here's some shirts that got delayed. Not delayed, but these are some shirts that's going out from the hospital. That's an order from a bulldog. A bulldog ordered these. And it don't stop, hospital or not, it doesn't stop. She ordered 3 t-shirts, the camouflage, the black and white, and the purple and gold.
Purple and gold.
And you could consider it a mega sci-fi, just purple and gold. It looks good. And we got the Delta shirt too.
So now I did not see the Delta shirt. I saw pink and green. I saw the camouflage. And I'm like, how come I don't see no red and white shirts up on here? But I was like, we'll have to have a little aside. We'll have to talk about that. I need to get a special order.
As soon as we get back to the studio, after we come out of the hospital for low platelets.
Low platelets.
Sarah Zipporah something got on me about that too, talking about I got a husband color shirt, but I don't have her color shirt. It will be printed. As soon as we get out of this place and I get to the studio, it will be printed. And when your shirt comes, what size you need? Small?
I wish. I at least need a medium.
Yeah, because I'm not going to get slapped up. You start the lowest one. I learned.
I need at least a medium.
You just inbox me your address so I can get your stuff out when we go. Oh my gosh, I really needed this. I really live for this. I speak at certain places, but I have to take it further. When the nurse told me that I'm a motivator, and she just met me and was with me for 12 hours, she said I made her feel so good. Not just trying to gas people up or anything, but I have to get out there. I'm ready to go because I really feel this is my calling from God. Besides being a salesman, I want to help people. I'm not charging nothing. We already gave information that's pertinent. 988. Call that number. It's universal. You want to talk to me? I'm not a therapist. I'll tell you in a minute, but I'll tell you what I went through and what helped me.
And that's what matters. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. I'm excited to get my shirt. And to see the other information that you have to put out there, because you do put out a lot of good information on social media. And I would definitely recommend that you guys get out there and follow him, check him out, check out his videos, because you never know when that person needs help might be you.
That's right.
Or someone you love, and you want to be able to know how to navigate that. And I think you are the perfect person to be an advocate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.